Hey everyone, today I'm going to be making a metal plasma. I've shown you these small glass ampules of gases before. When you bring them near a Tesla coil, they light up. And the reason they're lighting up is because the Tesla coil is creating extreme voltages in the gas that tear off the electrons. And when the ions recombine, then it gives off specific wavelength or wavelengths of light. And the emission spectra that it gives off is unique for the specific gas. So you can see for these different gases here, we get slightly different colors. These are all noble gases, but what if we wanted to see what a plasma looks like for a different element, like a metal? Well, in order to create a metal plasma, we would need to create a metal vapor first. So if I'm going to do this in my garage, it needs to be a metal with a low boiling point, so that we can turn the metal into a gas. Now, a metal with a really low melting point is gallium, but it happens to have an extremely high boiling point of about 4,300 degrees Fahrenheit, so that doesn't help us much. So let's try to use a metal that has a much lower boiling temperature, like sodium. Sodium has a melting point of just under 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and its boiling point is about 1,600 degrees Fahrenheit, which is much lower than most of the other metals, but still pretty hot. But we don't need to get it that hot if we put it in a vacuum. If we lower the pressure, then the boiling temperature of the sodium will also drop. So we can actually get it to vaporize at a much lower temperature of just a few hundred degrees Fahrenheit. So let's see if we can vaporize this sodium. Okay, I'll put the sodium in here. So to power this, I'm going to be using my Tesla coil here. Then I have my sodium in this flask here that I'm going to heat up with this torch. And then I'll pull the vacuum here and plug up this end of it. Okay, turn on the vacuum. So now I'm going to heat up the glass with the torch here. Oh, there it goes. Whoa. And as I bring the Tesla coil near, it creates such high voltages that it can actually tear electrons off of the sodium vapor and create a sodium plasma. Whoa, look at that. You can see the color goes away and then comes back when I move the Tesla coil near. That is so cool. So it starts off with this dim orange, but then when it really starts to boil, it gets this bright orange color. It looks like there's a fire burning inside of the flask. So with just a little bit of power, we get the brightness of a fire. In fact, sodium vapor can make a lot of light with only a little power input. So what I've done here is exactly what happens in a low pressure sodium vapor lamp. I've used this before in my experiments. There's already a vacuum pulled inside of this light bulb, and you can see the little dots of sodium metal here. Once the light bulb heats off, the sodium is vaporized and gives off a yellow glow at around 589 nanometers. These types of lamps are typically used in parking structures and bridge underpasses because they're very bright and very energy efficient. But one of the downsides of this type of light bulb is that it's actually orange in color and gives off only a single wavelength of light. So it makes everything look monochromatic like this. And before we end, I'd like to thank the sponsor for this video, Established Titles. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. The land that they assign you is called a souvenir plot. It doesn't have to be a registered plot and can be sold for commemorative purposes or as a souvenir. Since the title Lord is not an official title and since you own the souvenir plot, they refer to their customers as lords and ladies. Their title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. Your certificate features a unique plot number with which you can see the exact location of your land. They also plant a tree with every order and work with global charities One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future to support global reforestation efforts. These certificates make an amazing last-minute gift. Established Titles is actually running a massive sale right now. Plus, if you use the code TheActionLab, you get an additional 10% off. So go to establishedtitles.com/theactionlab to get your gifts now and help support the channel. Remember, the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking distance. And thanks for watching another episode of The Action Lab. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And you can also hit the bell so that you're notified when I release my latest videos. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.